What's up, everybody? This is Crispy Cody from the Crispy Reviews podcast, coming at you today with some music news. Riot Festival has made some changes to their location yet again, interestingly enough, and they've dropped and given us the schedule. Let's go in and talk about it. As you may or may not have known, I'm going to start this from the beginning of the story that we have for Riot Fest. Riot Fest was originally announced for this year, 2024, on June 12th, and this is the lineup that we were given, along with the announcement that they were not going to be at Douglas Park in Chicago. They were going to be moving to Bridgeview, Illinois. That's what this statement was. A lot of people were upset. A lot of people were shocked. I was shocked. I didn't know what to expect from this change. They were promising a lot of interesting things, such as Riotland. Riotland is a collection of things that they were wanting to do. It was going to be this kind of new layout and setup. By the way, this is going to be located at SeatGeek Stadium in Bridgeview, Illinois. And as you can see here, with all this stuff, they were going to have a casino and an arcade, a sideshow circus, and a market area, a little flat ride theme park area as well from the concept art, different themes, and all these awesome kind of stuff. So again, for people who live in the Chicago area, I hear and understand your complaints that losing this festival to Bridgeview was rough. And it sounds like the festival heard you guys as well. And it probably reflected in ticket sales too. I'm imagining. I don't have any statistics or numbers, insights for this, but for this festival to make a drastic change, they have done that themselves, interestingly enough. So again, this was all announced to the public on June 12th. Last week, we just got a big announcement from Riot Fest. Riot Fest has officially decided that they are no longer moving forward with Bridgeview, Illinois SeatGeek Stadium, and they are moving back to Douglas Park, Chicago. There's a lot of interesting controversies as to why they decided to make this change and this jump. I believe that there was issues with them moving to this stadium. The stadium did not recognize that they already had an event booked for that weekend. They are home to a soccer team that's there, and they were scheduled to have a regular season game the same weekend as Riot Fest. Logistically, these two events could not take place at the same time. They do not have the space to be able to do this. So I think that was a really big factor into the decision of why Riot Fest decided to move back to Douglas Park. Obviously, ticket sales were probably really low. Chicagoans really want to be able to have access to better transportation options with the train, the metro system. It's just a lot more accessible being in Douglas Park. Whereas in Bridgeview, they only were offering a shuttle service to be able to get to this festival, which is great. I understand Riot Fest went to like great lengths to be able to like compensate for the change. And I was open and receptive to the change, as I am somebody who is not a Chicagoan, who is coming from outside of that location to be able to attend this festival. I believe it's interesting that there's so many people that were upset with the change and the move, which is understandable. They wanted to be able to provide parking, and that was their answer, to be able to provide parking for people, for those who'd like to drive to the music festival, which Douglas Park is not located in a great place for parking and has lots of issues with the neighborhood and the area there to be able to pull it off. But with the past prior years, they've been able to do it. Lots of people have been able to attend. I believe they had a record year last year in attendance for their festival in 2023. But yeah, they have made the switch within, I believe, 2 months. And we are only a month out from the festival actually happening. And they decided to make this change where the festival is now back at Douglas Park. In outrage, I believe fans are really upset with Riot Fest themselves for making all these sudden changes, all these movements. It really throws a monkey wrench into the entire planning process as a consumer and a festival goer, such as like myself. If you already previously planned to attend this festival thinking that it was going to happen at Douglas Park and waking up on June 12th to realize that they were moving it to Bridgeview, that's pretty rough. You know, you have to change all your accommodations. You have to change where you're staying. You have to figure out your new transportation to get to the festival. Or if you were smart and decided to keep your reservations where you were in the Douglas Park area, you somehow lucked out and read into the fortune teller's ball, because the festival is now back at Douglas Park. You do not have to make any changes in accommodations. But for those of us who made arrangement plans to stay in Bridgeview or around the Bridgeview area, we now have to change our accommodations, such as changing hotels or Airbnbs, whatever it may be, wherever you're staying. So Douglas Park, Chicago is now the home of Riot Fest once again in 2024. They made this change. I'm assuming it's due to a number of reasons. And this is a statement from Riot Fest themselves. Driven by the overwhelming support of the city of Chicago and our fans, we're excited to announce that we are coming back home to Chicago and Douglas Park. If there was no Chicago, there'd be no Riot Fest. As we continue to build a long-term partnership with the city of Chicago, we remain focused on our shared vision of stability and growth in the neighborhood we call home. We deeply appreciate the support from Mayor Johnson Alderwoman Scott, the Chicago Park District, and the Northern Lawndale and Little Village communities. We're not just coming home, we're coming back stronger with an even greater purpose and doubling down on our commitment to Chicago, our fans, and our community. Riot Fest was born and bred here. It's where we belong. Details regarding changes to shuttles, parking, and tickets are below, with the more information to come in the coming weeks as we shore up our plans to make this year's Riot Fest our best ever. Thank you for being awesome. We love you, Riot Fest. Yeah. Very positive note. Obviously, they're trying to paint themselves as this hero to come back to Chicago and keep Riot Fest in Chicago as it should have been from the get-go, and to make this change to Bridgeview as a bad idea. They understand, they reached out, they understand the community and everything that went wrong for this. However, this only tarnishes their relationship more because they're making all these sudden changes within this festival cycle year. I believe that they should have tried to make the Bridgeview still work for the year and then apologize and have a festival back for next year at Douglas Park. However, the Riot Fest organizers decided that this is not the case. We got to make this switch. We're going back to Chicago. I'm assuming it's due to ticket sales probably being low, and probably still being low because here we have them offering a refer a friend to Riot Fest. Riot Fest sucks, or do we? They always make jokes at themselves. I think it's so interesting that this organizer definitely understands that they're doing a lot of things and making a lot of mistakes and trying to like make it up to the community right now by offering a refer a friend some cash. So they're back in the Douglas Park, as we mentioned, and they want to make it even better by helping you bring a friend along. If you've already snagged a ticket or about to, Have a friend buy their ticket using your Tixer rewards referral link and get 20% off. They'll get 20% off their ticket, and so will you. Must be purchased separately. Rewards are processed 3 to 5 days after the festival concludes, which will credit back the 20% to the payment method you and your friend used at checkout. The discount will not be visible during checkout. So, to me, you're still paying full price up front to then get some type of discount in the end. It's very interesting, kind of weird. I can see why they're trying to do it. It's like a rebate almost. They give you details on to further figure out how to give you this offer. And this offer is only available until the end of this month, August the 31st. The reward is capped at $100 per person as well. Anyways, let's move to why they are moving the festival again. We understand that this may be confusing, which it is, but we feel that Douglas Park has always been the home for Riot Fest, and we are looking forward to working in partnership with the new Chicago Park District Management Team to build a symbiotic relationship with them, us, and the communities surrounding Douglas Park. So that is their ultimate answer to why they moved the festival, because they want to work with the Chicago Park District Management Team and to redevelop their community that they basically broke by moving to Bridgeview for the festivals. I just think it's so interesting that they made these sudden changes. It's very striking and concerning, but they're trying to undo everything, which is, I guess, good. Ultimately, I think this is going to have some major repercussions. I think this festival year might be the least attended year for Riot Fest, not only because the lineup isn't 100% amazing, but because of all these sudden changes and decisions that are just ultimately going to hurt the brand. This is an independent festival too. So they kind of have to break even for this festival to continue on at the level that it's at. I mean, we could see repercussions resulting as this festival being smaller next year. We could also see maybe it getting canceled. That's like worst case scenario. Or ultimately the festival could sell off to another corporate giant like Live Nation or C3 or whoever that is interested in wanting this festival on their arsenal of music festival lineups and stuff. Ultimately, I don't think Riot Fest is going to give up anything. They're obviously wanting to create a better, stronger future of the festival with the Chicago Park District Management Team and rebuild the communities that they've recently shattered due to all their chaotic choices over the past few months. So it goes on into further details, such as I refunded my ticket in June when the venue change was announced, and now I want to buy a ticket again, but it is more expensive. Will Riot Fest cover the difference in price? As a thank you for your continued support, we are offering you the chance to repurchase your ticket at the original early bird price. We appreciate your loyalty to Riot Fest and want to make sure you can still join us for an unforgettable experience. Don't miss out on this exclusive offer. It's only valid until August 22nd, 2024. Today is August 19th, Monday. So 22nd, that's this Friday. So yeah, that's only available till this Friday. So make sure you follow these steps if you're one of these people who decided to give up your ticket, and then now that they made the change, you want a ticket again to be able to go. So visit the ticket page, step 1. Step 2, rebuild your original order, add up the same number of tickets and ticket types to your cart as you had in the previous purchase, enter your original Tixer order ID as the promo code at checkout. That's how you get the ticket at the early bird price that you once had prior to all these changes. So for this time around, can I get my ticket refunded? All previously purchased tickets will be honored at Douglas Park. As stated in our purchase policy, all festival ticket sales are final and non-refundable. Uh, Final and non-refundable. They're pulling this card. This policy allows us to maintain the quality of our event and ensure that we can provide the best possible experience for our attendees. Basically, the event is saying that we need to keep your money because we are out of options, because we made this decision to go back to Douglas Park. So you can either come or not come at all. We don't give a damn. We have your money. So it's up to you at this point. So if you opted out on the first refund that they offered, you're in luck, and you definitely are saving a big headache. And they're even actually offering you some luck here by giving you early bird prices to come back to Riot Fest now that it's back in Douglas Park. So again, creating another divide in the community for this festival, because they're at a point where this money that they need or have through their ticket sales is final and non-refundable. They are not planning you to give you money back unless this music festival is canceled, which it's not going to be canceled at this rate. And we're only a month away from this music festival happening. So I'm bewildered by how Riot Fest is treating its own community. They're treating early bird people better than people who bought after the lineup came out, which is just absurd to me. So if you bought a parking pass for the Bridgeview location, all parking passes will be automatically refunded back to the original payment method. Please check your inbox for refund confirmation email from Tixer. So that's good that they're offering you a refund from the parking pass and stuff, just right out the gate. No hassles, no issues, none of the yada yada. As for somebody like me, they did offer a shuttle program, which was running from the city to Bridgeview. Very convenient. I thought it was a great idea. I was excited that there was a station only half a mile away from where I was planning on staying, and it would drive me to and from the festival. However, since the festival has now moved back to Douglas Park, this shuttle program has been canceled. And if you had purchased a ticket, all previous purchased shuttle passes will be automatically refunded back to the original payment method. So please check your inbox for a refund confirmation email from Afton Tickets. And I can confirm that I received my email, and I have checked my bank statements and saw that they are refunding the $95 that I spent towards the ticket for the shuttle service. So that's great. Again, no hassles or anything like that with having to, maybe stake a claim with your bank to basically say that you did not receive this service and get a refund from the bank. But that's a good move. However, though, I just think it sucks that we are losing that shuttle, because I honestly, since I'm not from Chicago, I'm an outsider coming to the festival. I would rather have it where I'm getting on a shuttle and it's bringing me to and from the festival. It saves me a lot of time trying to figure out how to navigate and get to the festival. When I attended the festival in 2019, I had a really rough time trying to figure out how to get to where I was going because I was on the northern side of Chicago, and this festival is in Douglas Park, which is on the southern end of Chicago. So it is kind of rough getting to and from wherever you're staying to the festival if you're staying in northern Chicago. However, if you are one of the poor unfortunate souls that has a hotel or an Airbnb in Bridgeview still, and you already have everything paid for, or you can't get refunds from those accommodations, they are actually offering that there's going to be a round trip shuttle from Bridgeview to Douglas Park. So they understand that some of you have already secured lodging accommodations near SeatGeek Stadium. To make this transition smoother, we are offering a free FREE round trip shuttle service from the Bridgeview Midway area to Douglas Park. Details will be coming soon. If you are interested in using the service, you must sign up for this by Wednesday, August the 21st. Wow. So if you're hearing this podcast right now, you need to hurry up and sign up for this as soon as possible by August 21st. I think it's ridiculous that they're giving such a shallow cutoff date. I think they should probably push this to maybe the first or second week of September. A lot of people are still kind of dealing with the shock factor that this festival has moved yet again in the same festival cycle year. I think Riot should definitely expand this window a little bit further, probably. But once we know how many people will be joining us, we will follow up with shuttle times and more details. We know venue changes can sometimes be a bit inconvenient, and as a thank you for your patience and flexibility, we are working hard to make the on-site experience even better for everyone. All right. So that's what they're going to be doing. Some more FAQ. When are gates opening and when is curfew now that it's back in the city? Gates are scheduled to open at 11 a.m. each day at Riot Fest to honor the curfew in the city of Chicago. Set times will end at 10 p.m. daily. Will Beyond the Fest community events be returning with the festival being back in the city? Yes, Riot Fest has not only continued its community bands initiative, but also will be hosting and sponsoring many events in and around the Douglas Park area, including park cleanups, community job fairs, community ticket registrations, and more events listed below. So again, these two things are pretty solid questions. Knowing when the festival is happening, they did not list when a curfew is. I mean, I understand that the noise ordinance is at 10 p.m. sharp, usually whenever it's in a neighborhood area. And for this festival, it is kind of like in a neighborhood area right outside Chicago, just barely outside of it. And yeah, this is just kind of pretty contemporary cut and paste of city music festivals. They usually are over at like 10 p.m. or at the latest 11. I'm not surprised with that there. Beyond the Music Fest, though, that's great that they're reaching into the community and trying to do more. They have lots of events already planned. Some have already came and gone, such as some of these here. So they did like a back to school summer bash on the 14th. That's already passed. Community hiring event. It's probably for the festival. They got community ticket registration and hiring going on the August 17th. That passed as well. So the next upcoming one is August the 27th. They had a street picnic 50th anniversary on August 17th. That's already passed. Community band contest winners announcement, August 22nd. That's going to be this Thursday. Community vendor workshop is going to be on August 31st. We have a virtual community meeting, 7 p.m. on September 13th online. That's interesting. I wonder if you have to be in the area to attend this meeting. I may join that meeting and check that out, honestly. But yeah, and then we have a community quarter on September 20th through the 22nd. That's through the festival itself. And then there's another virtual community festival recap on October 4th. I will definitely attend that. I would like to see and hear everybody's conversations about the recap after the festival. Just a few more FAQ questions here. This move affects my lodging plans. What do I do now? Unfortunately, we are unable to offer compensation for lodging costs, but will provide a free shuttle service from a location near Midway Airport to Douglas Park each day of the festival. See above for Midway shuttle sign-up details. Again, those shuttle details are cut off this Wednesday, the 21st. They need to extend that window. That is not They do not give these people enough time to be able to make changes to their plans. They're still processing this change. And I'm not surprised that they're going to not offer anything. I mean, obviously, like, they don't have any will or say over third-party companies to offer any compensation. Then they talk about something called, will crew fare refund my hotel purchase? They are saying that we are unable to answer on behalf of crew fare and its hotel partners. Please inquire with crew fare customer support and or hotel where you booked. Additionally, crew fare terms are available to read here. Will Riotland still be part of the festival at Douglas Park? This is a great question. I have that question too. Apparently it's yes. Riotland will be still part of the festival at Douglas Park. We will have new and exciting activations throughout the park, as well as all of your old favorites. So, yeah, this is all the news that has come from Riot Fest. They are back in Douglas Park. They're doing lots of damage control. They're trying to reestablish their fan base and the community, and they're trying to reconnect with the Chicago Park District and rebuild their trust with the community through all these measures. I think that they've made a fire that's outgrowing themselves at this point. I've seen lots of people online commenting saying that they're upset, but I've also seen some people saying that they're really looking forward to the festival being back in Douglas Park, meaning that they'd be able to attend. However, I am very skeptical of all these changes, and I believe that this may be the least attended Riot Fest in history of Riot Fest due to all these changes and because of the lineup being a little lackluster. I know that they're doubling down and trying to show their grit here and say that they are really like paying it towards the fans and the community by making all these adjustments and changes. But I don't know if it's going to save them, honestly. I feel like this is going to hurt their reputation more than anything that we've ever seen on a music festival standard or standpoint. So that's my full review on that situation. Hopefully these plans or changes don't affect you too much if you're going to this festival. And I hope to see you there at Riot Fest. You should hit me up and comment below on what you think of all these changes from Riot Fest in the comments. Also, my email address is open if you would like to DM me or hit me up with an email. We can go into further details about Riot Fest and what I plan on to do at the festival. Okay, lastly, I would like to talk about Riot Fest schedule. The Riot Fest schedule is finally here. This was posted back on August 15th, so this past week. I'm speaking on this fact a little bit later. But anyways, the Riot Fest 2024 schedule is here, and we're roughly about 30-something days away from the festival, and we're getting the schedule. So that's good news, along with the venue change and everything. But we're going to go through this schedule, and I'm going to talk about clashes and just who I believe I'm going to be seeing through this festival. So for Friday, September 20th, this is our schedule. We've got 5 stages. We got Cabaret, Metro Stage, the AAA stage, NoFX World, Rise stage, and the Radical stage. I believe that these 2 stages on the outer rim here are probably going to be connected together, but we have yet to have seen a map. They should probably release a map here within a week or two. And once we get that information, we'll be able to understand how this is all kind of like coming together. But anyways, as you can see, there's a lot of oscillation between set times here, and a lot of set times are really short. The main set times appear for the smaller groups are only 30 minutes, with it only expanding to around like 40 minutes around like the 4 o'clock time. And then for like the evening time, some bands are only just getting an hour. And the headliner here get like around an hour and 45 minutes to play a headlining set. That is the longest set for the headliner. So that's like a healthy amount of time, I would say, for a festival. But with these other bands only getting like an hour to, you know, it should be at least like an hour and 15 minutes or maybe like an hour and 20 minutes to be able to like do a little like encore or maybe even play a little longer. But that's just how it is for these festivals. They have to keep the sets really short so they can move these bands in and out as quickly as possible. Clashes that I am witnessing online that people are upset over. There's a lot of people that are divided due to old versus new and new versus old, such as like Hot Mulligan and Face to Face playing at the same time. We also have like Sum 41 that's playing at the same time as like Cypress Hill and some of like Circle Jerks as well. And then you have like The Offspring, Circle Jerks, and Public Enemy all playing at like the same time. And then at the end, you've got, you know, Fall Out Boy with No FX and the Marley Brothers. So seeing that you have options in the evening at the end, if you don't like Fall Out Boy, you have two other options to be able to go and enjoy the rest of your night from the festival. But as for me, who am I going to see? I don't really know for Friday. Honestly, I was hoping for a better even distribution of artists. I think this is going to be more or less my explore day for at least the beginning half of the day, probably between 12 to maybe 4, because 4 o'clock is when I want to see like Face to Face or Hot Mulligan. Before that, either All or The Chisel, I'd like to see them, or Spiritual Cramp. Some of these other bands, I haven't really gotten too deep in the weeds on them to understand and support them and understand like who I should be excited for type thing, which I should dig a little deeper and understand like who these bands are and whatnot. But reverting back to my main excitement, I would say I definitely want to see Face to Face. After that, I'm not sure. I'm not really a big fan of Newfound Glory. I'll probably go see Souls of Mischief for a little bit and then go see Sum 41. And then I'm stuck between these three acts, between Offspring, Circle Jerks, and Public Enemy. So I'm not 100% set on any of these acts for Friday, to be honest with you. The only one that I am 100% certain that I am seeing on Friday is the Marley Brothers. I'm very excited for this experience, especially since it is on Riot Fest lineup. I don't feel like this would normally be on a Riot Fest lineup, and that really attracts me pretty heavy. Same with Public Enemy. I know Public Enemy doesn't really play festivals often, and they don't tour as much anymore. They are an older hip-hop rock group, so I feel like it just makes sense to go see them. But I've never seen Circle Jerks or The Offspring, and Offspring are playing Smash all the way through, so I feel like seeing The Offspring would be a better choice. Whereas Circle Jerks, I would be able to see them another time again. So again, I'm not set in stone on any of this. Friday is very much my mystery day. I'm not sure what the hell I'm doing on this day as of yet. Let me know in the comments what you think of who you're excited to see most on Friday for September the 20th. Let's move on to Saturday, September 21st. This is probably by far my biggest freaking lineup of clashes, and it sucks. I'm upset, and I know a lot of other people are upset online too. In the beginning of the day, the first like hour, 2 hours, we've got a lot of smaller bands playing again, 30-minute sets. But the one I'm upset about most is the Dead Milkmen and Buzzcocks are playing basically at the same time. There's like a 5-minute difference between the two. My best friend and I, we're definitely going to be at the Dead Milkmen. I don't know if we'll split it and do like part of the Dead Milkmen and then go see part of the Buzzcocks, but we will see as the day kind of plans out there. And then probably after that, I'm going to see the Dickies. then go to the Hives. Again, another clash here. We got Hives and the Armed. The Armed is like a newer, upcoming artist who's got like a really interesting sound, and I like their stage presence. But they're at the same time as the Hives, who I've yet to see. I know I've been wanting to see this band for a really long time, so I'm really excited to finally see them. So I'll be seeing the Dead Milkmen, Dickies, the Hives, and then either here I'll probably like maybe take a break or check out maybe one of these artists. I've seen Clutch before. They're really great live. They have some great energy. I haven't looked into DOA enough to be able to say like, yeah, I'm going to that set. And then from here, definitely going to be at Basement. Basement's definitely the pick on the Radical stage at 4:45 to 5:25. And then again, we have a big conflict between Spoon, Lagwagon, and Beach Bunny. I don't know who I'm going to see at that point. I might take a break here and get something to eat. But yeah. And then we enter this cluster of crap where there's like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 artists who are really, really good are all playing at pretty much the same time. So this makes it literally impossible to have a plan to kind of see who I want to see. But ultimately, I'll probably see like a portion of St. Vincent, Descendants, Pavement, some of Bright Eyes, and then go to either NoFX or Taking Back Sunday. Also, I want to note here, Beck has a really short set, it looks like. It says 8:45 to 10. So that's an hour and 15 minutes that Beck is playing. I think that's significantly smaller than Fallout Boys, who's the day before. You know, they have an hour and 45 minutes, whereas Beck only has an hour and 15 minutes. I think that's pretty wild. That's all that they're given. So that's Saturday. That's what I got going on. That's who I will be seeing. And Sunday is kind of like the big day, honestly. I feel like this is the biggest day, at least for me, on the 22nd. We got Necrogoblicon kicking things off. Huge. That's going to be insane, honestly. They're on the Metro stage, the biggest stage there, so that's going to be crazy. We got Sack Squatch playing. Now I'm going to go over to Sprints. I don't really have many clashes. And then I'll probably be ready for Tsunami. And if I don't die from that, I'll probably die in Gel. And then if I definitely don't die in Gel, I might die in the Guar Pit. So I don't know. It's just going to be a bunch of energy from 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock, basically, like 3:45. And even after that, like Mastodon, oh, there is a clash. So I lied. So there's Mastodon and Slaughter Beach Dog. They're playing at the same freaking time. Upsetting, right? And Mastodon is going to be playing their album there, Leviathan. So that's going to be pretty crazy. Whereas Slaughter Beach Dog is probably going to be the more mellow kind of pick. I'll need to have to like catch my breath after all of this crap from the early afternoon. And then I go right back into it with Suicidal Tendencies. And I may or may not leave after that. Depends on the vibe. But there's Lamb of God, Rob Zombie, Pennywise, Oliver Tree, Dr. Dog, Sublime, and the Ender of the Night Slayer. But yeah, I think for me personally, Suicidal Tendencies may be my last act. I've seen Lamb of God many times. They're crazy. Rob Zombie is a cool get. I might stay to see him. I love Dr. Dog, but I've seen them a few times too. But they do have a new album out, so I don't know. I'll just say this. Suicidal Tendencies, Lamb of God maybe from the distance or taking a break to eat something, one of the two. Rob Zombie, Dr. Dog, Sublime. That's all I'm going to say. I think that's where I'm going to end my Riot Fest. So that's the Riot Fest schedule. I'd love to see who you're excited to see and what clashes you have. Talk about it, comment about it below. Let me know what's going on. And if you're also attending the festival, comment in the comments below saying that you're going to the festival. So lastly, I just want to talk about Riot Fest news that we're expecting. We should be expecting this week the late night shows to be announced. So far, we've been given a pre-fest show with Newfound Glory playing an album playthrough Thursday, the day before the festival begins. That is the only late night show that we've been given as an announcement thus far. We should be expecting some more late shows to be announced, and I'm hoping that we get some late shows announced with some bands that have major clashes, so that way I could be able to go and see these bands that I'm wanting to see without having to deal with the clash or the worry of the clash occurring. It lifts like a little bit of a weight off your shoulders, you know? So, yeah, that's going to be Riot Fest of 2024. I'm looking forward to it. It's about a month out. So, it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. And it sucks that they've made so many changes and adjustments and headaches for not only all of us, but for the communities of Chicago. It's a bummer. I hope that the festival's able to rebound and grow from this. Hopefully, they learn from their mistakes and not make such crazy haste decisions to where it kind of just throws everybody in limbo, you know? It makes you kind of like hugging on to Riot Fest, like, what's happening next? That's not the image that you need. You need to just kind of build a place, keep it at that place. And the saying always goes, if you build it, they will come, right? So if you build something great, everybody's going to come. They're all going to be there, and we're all going to create everlasting memories at the event. So if you're a punk head, if you're a metal head, shout out to y'all. Love you guys. And thank you so much for supporting the podcast. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow for any updates, as we will be sharing the Riot Fest late night shows pretty soon and other news as well that pops up along the way. So keep it right here with Crispy Reviews Podcast. Thank you, and see you later. Bye.